The mission impossible. It looks impossible, but he always gets it done. That's exactly what Washington did today. But for Detroit, I mean, what a great season they had. They should be proud of the season. And this is why they had so many injuries on that team, especially defensively, and they still made it this far. And I think that just caught up with them because it's hard to overcome that many defensive injuries, no matter how well they played later in the season defensively. This is the playoffs, a whole different thing. And on top of that, when you have 5 turnovers, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. It was as if Goff felt like he had to keep up. And that's not necessarily the way the Detroit Lions play.
No,
Yeah, I just don't really think that that's the whole story there. I mean, the reality is that this was a team loss. This was a team loss. I know everyone wants to try to boil it down to this one thing, or it's the defensive injuries or Jared Goff's turnovers. This was a team loss. This was a team loss. Of course, if you're healthier in defense, you're going to be a better team, right? Obviously, we know that. But the offense did not show up. And yeah, Goff turned the ball over, but I don't think he was trying to do too much. I think this team just poorly executed. I think this game was called poorly. I mean, who am I to call out Ben Johnson? But you just like, at one point in the game, it's a 10-point game, and you're asking your wide receiver to make a throw that you're not even asked Jared Goff to make. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and you get intercepted. They were able to score points and move the ball straight up. They didn't need to rely on anything too fancy, but they kept trying to be too aggressive, too lean on the trick plays too much, and it was just too much. And that's on the Detroit Lions. I mean, it really is. Yeah, the one interception from Goff was an overthrow. That happens. It's unfortunate. All quarterbacks do it. It just happens. It just happens. It just happens. It just happens. Bad luck, bad timing. And then the fumble too. He gets scooped. He gets held up, and there was just like nothing he could do. And then the other interception was either you can make the argument that he was being too aggressive, which is totally fair, or it was also not even an or, but just definitely also a great defensive play. And again, those things obviously hurt the Lions without a doubt. But there was many times that the Lions could have taken control of this game, and they just simply did not. And it was obvious that the Lions' defense could not stop the Commanders. But it was also obvious that the Commanders' defense could not stop the Lions' offense. So that's why you didn't need to do too much. You just needed to trust your offense. I mean, Gibbs should have had the ball like 30 times, man, and Montgomery. They were making plays. But you just kept going for these big home run shots, and it's unneeded. It was not needed. Also, burn the clock. The way how you want to also beat Jaden Daniels is keep him on the bench. And it was just tough to see, to have it all come down like that. And that's why it's like, I don't want to just try to circle the credit, like Jared Goff lost him in the game. Oh, the defensive injuries caught up to them. No, this was a collectively team effort. 12 men on the field, gave the easy conversion for the Commanders. I mean, and again, if you're full strength, you're maybe not, you're going to have the right guys in at the right time, at the right place, and, they'll just be, better coached in those moments. Like, I think that's all fair. I really, really do. But I think it's still fair to have it's still important to have a fair and open and honest discussion about what went wrong here. And again, let me just say it one more time. The defensive injuries was absolutely a contributing factor. But the Lions couldn't even, this was a game that clearly the Lions were going to have to put up like 40 plus points, and they couldn't. They couldn't do it. I mean, it's that simple. They couldn't do it. 45-31. And we saw that they were going to have to put, they averaged like 29 points per game. And yet they barely got over that. They were 3 for 9 on third down. They were 3 for 6 in the red zone. That right there crushes you. 3 for 6 and 5 turnovers. And time of possession 34 minutes to 26. I mean, that's kind of the game right there. It's a tough one. I really, really, really feel for for Lions fans. I really do. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to look at this box score and just be like, oh, this was a great game. Jared Goff, 59 rating, 23 for 40, 313 yards. But this is my problem right here. Gibbs. And it had nothing to do with the score. 14 carries, 105 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, and only 14 carries. What is that? And then he had, 20 receptions for 70. The dude did whatever he wanted. Feed him the ball. Feed him the ball. But then you're going to have Williams take a throw? Why? It just doesn't make sense. They could have scored a touchdown. The way how they were playing, it seems like they would have scored a touchdown. And then the score would have been a 3-point game with plenty of time left. But then you're going to have Williams, and I think Brady even said it, like, you're going to now ask him to, like, make a difficult throw and read the defense? Like, huh? Like, why? So despite all those turnovers, despite all those problems, you were still in a position where it felt like whoever has the ball last. There was absolutely a moment in time where it was like, if the Lions score, this was in the fourth quarter, the Lions score here, then all they do is just have to stop, either, keep the Commanders to a field goal or ideally, obviously, a punt. And then boom, you felt like the Lions would be able to march right back down the field and score again. You felt that, like it was there. It was absolutely there. And then you asked Jameis and Williams to throw the ball. And to me, that's indefensible. That's actually what I hang on to. To me, that was indefensible. And not relying on Gibbs more. 14 carries for 105 yards, 7.5 yards per carry. 2 touchdowns. They had no answer for him. None. 6 receptions for 70. I mean, he went for 175. He touched the ball 20 times. This needed to be a game that he was going to touch the ball 30 times. 30 times. You rely on him. He's going to also now keep Jaden Daniels on the bench. You're going to put up points. You're going to make life easier for Jared Goff, who Tom Brady even pointed out. He was jittery when the Commanders took away his first, read. Settle the game down a little bit. I mean, you had it there. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. And I think the criticism is warranted. Again, I know Jared Goff is going to get heat. I know the defense is going to get, defended because of the injuries. And that's fair. It is, again, it's absolutely fair, but I just don't want all of that other stuff to just also confuse some of the other stuff. The things that I'm trying to highlight. That's why this was collective. Collective. This was some defensive mistakes that even if you're injured, even if you haven't been 100%, even if you got some backups in there, they were still making mistakes that they should not have made. The play calling, the game planning, the adjustments, I just don't understand. I don't understand. That's what I struggle with. The abandoning of Gibbs. This is indefensible. And again, it's not the score. The score was not the problem. This was actually kind of like a 10-point game. Kept flirting between that back and forth. So it wasn't like, oh, well, they were down by 2-3 touchdowns. Like, of course Gibbs can't touch the ball. That's not what this was. That's not what it was. That's why I'm trying to like plant that flag. Do not let that be, the path that people walk down. Well, the defense was bad and we went down big, and so of course we couldn't do our game. No, that's not what it was. Well, Jared Goff turned the ball over, and that really put us. Yeah, he turned the ball over, but the game was still there. The game could have still been executed, but it was just poor execution. So poor play, poor execution, poor game management, poor play calling. There you go. Boom. And great play by the Commanders. Because that's what I'm saying. Look at the Commanders. They did not make the wrong decisions. They did not. I mean, the Commanders had 182 yards rushing. And the Lions had 200. So much of that came off that one play, obviously, on Williams for the 61 yards. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown went for 8 receptions, 137. Gibbs, 6 for 70. Laporta, 6 for 51. An unbelievable catch for that touchdown. As Jared Goff was falling down. I mean, that was a beautiful play. This is a tough loss. There's just no other way to slice it. It's a tough loss. It's heartbreaking. It's frustrating. And now you're going to lose both coordinators. That's going to happen. It's a tough one, man. There's just no way about it. And I feel for you. I really do. I really do. But they fail to know how to play games like this. They fail to play to know how to manage a game without all of the trickery. And I said that. I said that against the Bucks, and I said that against the Cardinals, and I got called out for it. A lot of people yelled at me for it. Oh, you just doubt the Lions, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, I think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. I think they're unbelievable. I think they're dominant. I think what they're doing is amazing. I think that they are the only juggernaut in the NFL. But you still need to evolve past that. And that's how they lost this game. Even all of these issues. And again, quarterbacks turn the ball over. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 2 interceptions in a Super Bowl and still won. That's what I'm saying. That's why you can't just blame Jared Goff or a fumble. I mean, we see all-time great quarterbacks make mistakes and turn the ball over all the time. It's what happens to quarterbacks. We see teams overcome their bad defenses all the time. This was mismanaged. Make no mistake about it. This game was mismanaged and misplayed. And that's just really what I want to just plant that flag and really argue that before everyone just focuses on those 2 things. Jared Goff, bad defense. That's why we lost. If Jared Goff was better or the defense was better, we win that game. This highlighted a problem that the Lions had throughout the season. That's my take. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Detroit Lions losing this game to the Commanders? Who do you think is to blame? Where do you go from here? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.